Hello. Welcome to installment 6 of the 2 for Time Travel video series. In our last installment we focused on the early 80s REM college radio era. We're going to roll it back a little bit to 1975 through 77, two critical releases by the group Fleetwood Mac. The Fleetwood Mac album and the subsequent Rumors album. There's plenty of history out there about Fleetwood Mac. There's documentaries all the time on VH1, and so I'm not going to sort of go into a lot of the common knowledge. A few points, however. One point, I think it is an interesting study to look at how Fleetwood Mac, sort of the group which existed before the infusion of Lindsey Buckingham and Stevie Nicks, very respected group within musician circles, great sort of British blues, had an experimental bent to them, how sort of the kind of like key foundation of that group was able to embrace these sort of California newcomers, Lindsey Buckingham and Stevie Nicks, but nevertheless they did. They made it work, and call it corporate rock, I call it great. And another key point that you probably won't hear too often is the fact that Lindsey Buckingham, number one, he really wasn't front and center as much as you might expect, being this sort of key songwriter, amazing guitarist, and pretty good singer. It was really Stevie Nicks and Christy McVie that really seemed to get most of the spotlight. And also, Lindsey Buckingham was not known as a guitar god back in those days. You know, that status was sort of reserved for a lot of your really sort of serious bluesy lead guitarist sort of guys. You know, you're maybe kind of bordering jazz. Take like Steve Howe, for example, from the group Yes, or Peter Frampton. Those guys were sort of your indisputable guitar gods. People who were kind of rooted in folk didn't really get that status back in those days, but that's changed, and Lindsey Buckingham is just revered in guitar circles now, predominantly for his fingerstyle capabilities, but he's one of those few finger stylists who is able to push it right into really aggressive, virtuoso level lead guitar, and so the first song that we're going to focus on is called Never Going Back Again, from the Rumors album. This is my copy from 1977, I might add. And hopefully I do the song justice to try to you know, give a good example of Lindsey Buckingham and his sort of fingerstyle prowess. And the second song I'm going to focus on is actually from the Fleetwood Mac album from '75, and that is the song Landslide. Another interesting point, Landslide was not the sort of household name song that it is now. It was not a single. It was not particularly popular. Rhiannon was the big song from the Fleetwood Mac album. I remember Landslide from back in those days, and I remember hearing it and liking it, but it really did not surface as a widely known song until about, I don't know, 10 or 12 years ago when Fleetwood Mac reunited, and it's since been covered. So great song. I've been playing it for years, so it was a logical choice because I spent enough time, quite frankly, learning Never Going Back Again. So it would have been fun to have learned a more obscure song, but I only have so much time to spend on these. Anyway, so time period 75, 77, the pinnacle of corporate rock. At the same time, punk and new wave was simultaneously making its inroads, and just a great era. I mean, just imagine turning on the AM radio in the summer of '77 and hearing the Eagles' "Life in the Fast Lane" in the same listening segment as you would hear Fleetwood Mac, "Go Your Own Way." Just, you know, Al Stewart, "Year of the Cat" was real big that summer. So definitely, you know, you don't really have to look real hard to find some real gems in that time period. So anyway, enjoy, and see you next segment. Bye. Broke down and let me in. Made me see where I have been. Been down one time.
see my reflection in a snow-covered hill, a landslide bringing